Have you ever seen an automatic Rubik's Cube? One you scramble, set down, and then watch as it unscrambles right in front of you? Not only that, but do it fast. Faster than a human. Any face can turn in under 1/10 of a second. And it always solves using the minimum number of moves. Oh, and this all needs to fit inside something the same size as an apple. This is going to be a really tough problem to solve. So in this video, I'm going to cover the design of the robot first. And let's just say I encountered lots of problems I didn't expect. The challenge is, there's barely any space inside a Rubik's Cube due to the way it works. A Rubik's Cube has 6 coloured sides made of smaller pieces, and when you twist the cube, all the pieces move around a central core in the middle, so there shouldn't be space inside. But the cube I'm using is slightly different. One of the faces opens up, and it's hollow inside. It's designed to store items, but instead I'm going to pack in as much electronics as possible, which will require me to design a custom 3D printed core from scratch, and then assemble the rest of the cube around it. So I went to print the first prototype, fired up the printer, and it printed absolutely nothing. After some detective work, I decided to take everything apart to attempt to fix the clog, which resulted in me burning myself on the heating element and completely shearing the threads off some fittings, only to discover the real culprit was a broken fan connector. If you'd rather not spend time fixing issues like this in the middle of a project, you might want to check out PCBWay. PCBWay offers a complete range of manufacturing services, from PCB fabrication and CNC machining to injection molding and 3D printing. Their 3D printing service is incredibly straightforward. You simply upload your file, choose from a variety of materials and colours, fill out any additional requirements, and they handle the rest with fast shipping. Check out the link in the description for a discount, and thanks to PCBWay for sponsoring the video. So the next step is to figure out a way to make the cube turn on its own. And the answer is surprisingly simple. If you take a look at the centre cubelet of a face as it turns, you'll see that it pivots freely. My idea is to control its rotation by attaching a motor to it, allowing me to perform moves on the cube. For this to be possible, our core needs room for 6 actuators, 2 for each axis, and as long as there's enough torque, the whole idea should work. So I decided to build a custom gearbox using parts from an old servo, which sounded like a good idea until I was 10 hours deep into failed prototypes. Turns out designing a gearbox this small is pretty hard, and I couldn't get one to turn smoothly. So I switched gears completely, and found some motors online that already had gears on them. After some more questionable designs, I came up with a way to fit all 6 motors inside the core. They're just small enough to cram inside, though they do poke out a bit, which isn't ideal. But I couldn't see any other way of getting them to fit. And finally I made copies of the centre cubelets, but with holes to slide onto the motor shafts. Next step is testing the face turns. I started slow, then gradually cranked up the speed. And everything was working well until I noticed something weird was happening. Can you see it? Well, it turns out rotating a face from the centre doesn't guarantee the rest of the pieces will follow. That's because fundamentally a Rubik's Cube is supposed to be turned from the edges, while I'm doing the opposite, pushing from the centre and just hoping the other pieces tag along. And for the most part, they don't. This is a really difficult problem to solve, because when fully assembled, the forces here cause the entire cube to do this, which is definitely not part of the plan. I need a way to keep each face tight enough to hold together, but loose enough to still rotate. So I designed some shaft collars that allow the cube's tension to be manually adjusted. I did a quick check to see if they work, but before testing with everything else, I'm going to put the electronics inside the cube. When I started this project, I didn't realise how tough the electronics would be. According to my rough plans, a ton of connections need to be made inside the cube. The problem is, regular wires are too large, So I had to use this, magnet wire, which is basically very thin copper coated in enamel. It's great for tight spaces, but it's an absolute pain to work with. It's very easy to break, and every wire looks exactly the same, which is confusing. Although for battery connectors and other high current connections, I still need a regular wire. And this is the end result, which should fit in theory. Except it doesn't. No matter how I rearranged things, the sphere just wouldn't fully close. I spent weeks changing the layout and building prototypes, but with these components and this amount of space, it just wasn't going to work. Until I realised something. I'd assumed I needed 6 motors, one for each face. But here's the trick. With the right move sequences, you can actually rotate all the sides, even if one isn't powered. It's a bit less efficient, solving will take more moves on average, but it works. So I removed the 6th motor, and while I was at it, I ditched some other parts too. And with fewer connections, I was able to remove the multiplexer. Compared to before, suddenly the wiring was much simpler. The whole thing is still rough, but I was able to test the turn. And it looks like it works. But you might have noticed we're now missing something kind of important. Without sensors, the system has no idea how far a face has turned. Originally, I was going to use hall sensors to detect when a piece passed over, then signal the motor to stop at exactly 90 degrees. But those are gone now, which means no more feedback. So that pretty much brings us to today. And honestly, I'm still not sure how reliable this whole system will be once the full cube is together. I've got a few ideas I want to try moving forward, but this is definitely still a work in progress. So if you've got suggestions or ideas I should try, definitely drop them in the comments.